Sultan bin Sulayem, CEO and Chairman of DP World. Welcome to Bloomberg, sir. The eyes of the world are on Dubai and this expo. Put in context for me, how big are your ambitions for DP World here in Dubai, first of all?
Very big. If you notice, we have changed our logo, rebranded ourselves, which reflects really what we became from a port operator inside the port to an end-to-end solution provider. A company that today deals with the cargo from the factory floor to the customer door. And that's what we became. And this event is an amazing place to announce it.
Tell me this, we're on a, 600 football field site. How much of this will you be able to use for logistics after the expo ends? How will this add to DP World?
This will be an amazing place where we're going to do a lot of research. I will announce this detail after a few months, but it's going to be an amazing place where we will research industries and products that can be deployed. We're not going to do a research center for people to read, but something we will work on logistic solutions, on ideas that makes it easy for people to deal either with logistics or with life or whatever is concerned people. And that will be produced here as an idea which will be launched and deployed.
So that's about the use of this site. You're a man that sees global trade flows. Our viewers want to get your first-hand knowledge. How do you see the global trade flow at the moment? Where are the strongest trade flows? Let's start there.
Well, the strongest today, no doubt about, is India. There's huge potential, and that reflects our investment. One of the largest investments we did in the world is in India. Of course, Africa continues to grow, and then will be also Southeast Asia, mainly Indonesia, a huge growth. And we have a new port there we're building now. And then, of course, the Pacific side of Latin America. We feel the growth is there.
Do you think there's lots of discussion at the moment that they're seeing perhaps a rollover in trade in China, or things are beginning to slow down between China and the West? Are you seeing any slowdown in shipments at all?
It is the effect of the pandemic. The pandemic have disrupted the supply chain. And in particular, China. China is the factory of the world. And the pandemic is not just in the beginning, even now, every time they see an incident of COVID, they will lock down a port. And today, many manufacturers around the world are delayed by 3 years because they cannot get the components from China.
Do you think you say they shut down a port like that.
Absolutely.
Do you think they're overreacting?
I don't know what they know. They know something we don't know, but they're taking a very, very aggressive approach.
The global supply chain, would you say we're in crisis?
In the beginning of the pandemic, yes. But we, as a company, DP World, we managed to immediately deal with it. And that is, from the beginning, none of our ports were closed. And we are working to provide facilities for people.
How long do you see these supply chains and blockages lasting?
I believe for a long time. It's not something you're going to see disappear, because the effect and delays of the cargo accumulated and stuck is a lot. And that is reflected in the cost of shipping. Containers are shipping freight skyrocketing.
Well, let's just draw on that a little bit. So it's not going to be a short-term end. Do you see it running these supply chain blockages through 2022 and beyond?
Probably 23, maybe we will see the ease of it, in my opinion.
Do you see any easing in freight rates? Freight rates are up, 700% on some cargoes?
Absolutely.
Will that level of price rises endure?
Let me tell you, it's not just the freight rates. You can't find an empty container. Empty containers are a problem. We are buying containers for our customers because we have many customers who are looking for containers. So freight rate is continuing to increase. The shipping lines is having an amazing time now.
Well, they're having an amazing time, and I'm just curious, they're able to charge more for shipping. Are you able to subsequently then charge more on the port side of the business?
A little. We haven't really done increase in our charges. We have certain agreement with the shipping line, and of course we are in line with that.
Will you review those prices upwards, do you think?
It has to do with our cost.
Okay.
So if our cost increases, then we will have to meet the shipping line and tell them. So far our cost has been maintained. Our cost is, we are very efficient, and our cost is kept at the minimum.
What supply chain issues, if at all, have you experienced running the business globally in DP World? Where are the biggest supply chain issues, if at all, for you running the business?
I tell you, the biggest problem is when COVID came.
Yes.
We have to adhere to the safety and health regulation, which means we cannot interact with our customers. And we need to do that. So the biggest obstacle was that, and we overcome it by accelerating all our digital platforms. Things that we wanted to do in 2 years, we did it now.
So is that, to the world, this is one of these moments when you get to talk to the world and to the market, the easing of supply chains, what do you see as being the solution there?
Well, basically, what we did is we launched many digital platforms that made our job much easier today. And I think that is the benefit of the pandemic. It came, and we have to do things we didn't need to do in the past. We're doing it, working out of home, and now we realize that really we can do a lot and more out of home. So that means, do we need all these offices around the world? Do we need many offices? We are really reviewing all our post, pre-COVID behavior. And now in the future, we need to look at the different things.
Do you think you're going to need much less floor space to run the business, much less work and office space?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, we were going to build our headquarters and we canceled it. We were going to take a bigger office on rental, we canceled it. And I'm glad we did that.
So if I said to you in the next 3 to 5 years, how much less property do you think you're going to need to run the business globally? What could that be? 10% less, minus 20% less?
I don't know, but we're reviewing all our costs, we're reviewing all our needs. We are really re-engineering the way we operate.
Jeff Curry from Goldman Sachs was with us the other day, and he was talking about the oil and gas business being absolutely underinvested, and that's why they had major global power issues. Has there been a serial underinvestment in ports and logistics? Is that part of the problem?
Not at all. I think many countries are investing in logistics. Many companies, you look at the shipping line, look at how much they invest. They're already buying logistic companies. We are buying logistic companies. We are buying companies. We're increasing our ability. Our goal is really to be an end-to-end solution provider, and we will supply our people with what they need around the world.
Where's next for you? You are global. I see Minister Bintouk talking about a $150 billion trade initiative. Will you pivot to Asia more than you pivot, let's say, to the West in the expansion for DP World?
I see Asia is a bigger attention. When you look at Southeast Asia and India, it's a bigger place than the rest. And if Africa, of course, is a bigger country and has a lot of growth, it has, unfortunately, some infrastructure issues, but still it's worth it.
Let me ask you about Africa, because I looked at the map as we were coming out and we were looking at the various places where you are on the East Coast. When you see China's one belt, one road, has that been an obstacle to you acquiring assets, the Chinese initiative, or do you say, actually, that's an opportunity. If they're here, I should be here?
Basically, most of the Belt and Road pass through our ports. So China is building ports where there is now no ports to make sure they go. But I tell you, I have an interesting thought about Belt and Road. Oh. Belt and Road is built on everything coming out of China. How do you make things out of China faster? The pandemic was not an issue before. I'm wondering whether that is still valid because there is an obstacle in China. Are Chinese going to move their manufacturing outside? Because obviously the supply chain is being affected. The Belt and Road concept came before COVID. I don't know whether it is the same idea now. Or
you think Belt and Road initiative might change in a post-COVID world?
They might have to change it because it is built on everything leaving China smoothly on these 6 belts, 3 by rail and 3 by sea. Mm-hmm. But today, with the obstacle of COVID coming into the equation, I wonder if that's valid or not anymore, or whether they have to review it. It's very interesting.
Okay, some of the big policy changes, Saudi Arabia enacting tariffs on the free zones, has that impacted your business here in Dubai to Saudi Arabia?
No, because the free zone business in Saudi Arabia is less than 5%. You see, since we started as a free zone, products always encounter duties around the world as a foreign manufacturer. And these people are supplying many parts of the world. So for Saudi, we've been only 5%.
What's the biggest concern to you now?
The biggest concern, to be honest with you, that doesn't make me sleep at night, is the disruption of technology. Is what could come up in technology that could impact our business. This is the biggest issue. And today you talk about quantum computers. It's an amazing technology which will transform the way we operate. It is a very difficult to understand technology. So when that's going to kick in, we don't know. And we're watching.
Sultan bin Sulayem, CEO and Chairman of DP World, thank you for joining us today, sir.